Welcome back. I will now be reviewing all of Thursday night's matchup and previewing Sundays and Mondays matchups of the NFL for week number 9. So the Eagles went into Houston to take on the Texans. I would have predicted the Eagles would have gotten the victory, and sure enough, they got a big victory, 29-17 the final score. The Eagles are still the only perfect team in the NFL with an 8-0 record, while the Texans fell to 1-6-1. The Los Angeles Chargers are heading into Atlanta to take on the Falcons. The Chargers are sitting at 4-3, while the Falcons are sitting at 4-4. I'm going to give the edge to the Falcons in this one. No disrespect to Justin Herbert, but I feel like I have not been given the Atlanta Falcons enough credit this season. Who would have guessed that we're over halfway through the season and they're still sitting in first place? I never would have thought that for a second. I would have guessed that Tampa Bay would have, but they have been struggling to say the least, so the Falcons should get the victory over Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Miami Dolphins are heading into Chicago to take on the Bears. Dolphins are sitting at 5-3. The Bears are sitting at 3-5. Even though the Dolphins are the better team, I'm going to give the edge to Justin Fields. I feel that even though he hasn't been perfect, I get a funny feeling this is going to be one of those games that he pulls a rabbit out of his hat and gets a victory for the Bears. So I could be easily biting my tongue, and the Dolphins could easily run over the Bears, but I got a funny feeling this is going to be one of those games where there might be an upset or two. So the Bears, I'm going to predict, get the victory over the Miami Dolphins. Carolina is heading into Cincinnati to take on Joe Cool and the Bengals. Panthers are sitting at 2-6. The Cincinnati Bengals are at 500 with a 4-4 record. Even though Jamar Chase is not playing in this game, I still got a funny feeling that Joe Burrow is going to still be able to hit some wide open receivers. He's got a special team, and he's got an excellent running game. So I would not be surprised if the Bengals pulled above 500 and got a victory over the Panthers. Green Bay is heading into Detroit to take on the Lions. Packers are sitting at 3-5. The Lions are sitting at 1-6. I got a funny feeling that this might be one of those other upsets this week. I'm going to give the edge to the Lions in this matchup. Las Vegas is heading into Jacksonville. Both these teams have been struggling to say the least. The Raiders are sitting at 2-5. The Jaguars are sitting at 2-6. Unless the Jaguars defense absolutely shuts down Devontae Adams, I got a funny feeling that he's going to have more than 3 yards in this one. And I'm going to give the edge to the Las Vegas Raiders. The Indianapolis Colts are heading into New England to take on the Patriots. I know this is not a Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady, although it would have been a classic if that was the case. Mac Jones is the starting quarterback for the Patriots, and I cannot recall the starter for the Colts, but I got a funny feeling he's a rookie, as obviously, if you don't know by now, Matt Ryan has been benched for the rest of the season, unless the coach decides to change his mind again. But I'm going to give the edge to the Patriots in this one. I just believe that when you have a talented quarterback in Mac Jones and a defensive-minded genius in Bill Belichick, that they should get the victory in this particular matchup. The Buffalo Bills are heading into New York to take on the Jets in what has got to be one of the most anticipated early games of the Sunday schedule. Bills are sitting in first place with a 6-1 record, while the New York Jets are sitting in second place with a 5-3 record. I'm going to give the edge to Josh Allen and the Bills. I believe, and I've said this before, that this is basically a Super Bowl or bust. They have enough talent all around that they should make some noise in the postseason. So I'm sure they're going to want to get another victory under their belts. The Washington Commanders are now going to be hosting the Minnesota Vikings in what is going to be the return of Kirk Cousins to take on his former team. And the Washington Commanders are sitting at 4-4. The Minnesota Vikings have been red hot. They're sitting at 6-1. I will give the edge to Captain Kirk. I believe he will get his revenge and beat his former team. The Seattle Seahawks are heading into Arizona to take on their NFC West rivals. The Seahawks are sitting in first place with a 5-3 record, while the Cardinals are sitting with a 3-5 record. I got a funny feeling that no one would have predicted that these teams would have these records. If anything, they should have been swapped because Arizona, on paper, is technically more talented, especially with Kyler Murray at quarterback. But this year has just been so inconsistent for them. I'm going to give the edge to Seattle in this particular matchup. The Los Angeles Rams are heading into Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. Both these teams have been struggling. The Rams are sitting at 3-4. The Buccaneers are sitting at 3-5. For the Bucs, you got a feeling that this is a game that they wanted to mark on their calendar ever since they found out the schedule. Since obviously last year in the divisional round, the Rams upset the Bucs and went on to win the Super Bowl. So for the Buccaneers, I'm going to give them the edge. I can't see Brady losing 4 straight games, and if he does, then I'll definitely bite my tongue. But I just believe the Rams. I feel like they're just missing Odell. They're really missing a lot of things, but they just have not been themselves. They've been a shell of themselves, if anything, in my opinion. So the Buccaneers, I believe, will get back on track and defeat the former Super Bowl champs. The Sunday night matchup has the Tennessee Titans taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Both these teams are sitting at 5-2. Both these teams are sitting in first place, and I can easily see both these teams competing against each other in the postseason, whether it's divisional or championship game. Both these teams just have a really good team, and it's not a whole lot of negatives you can really talk about both these guys. But I'm going to give the edge to Patrick Mahomes in this one. I believe that he will get the victory in this Sunday night matchup. And last but not least, the Baltimore Ravens are heading into the Bayou to take on the New Orleans Saints. Lamar Jackson and friends are sitting at 5-3, while the Saints are sitting at 3-5. I'm going to give the edge to the Ravens in this one. I just believe that they're trying to prove that last year was a complete fluke after Lamar went down over halfway through the season and they missed out on the postseason. So I got a funny feeling they're going to want to try to get back into the playoffs. And oh yeah, Lamar's obviously still trying to work out for his contract. So the more wins he has, the more money he's going to be wanting. Until next time, take care.